Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. So, we continue our reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute, or Sanskrit it is called Vibhuti Yoga. And today we read verse number 31. So, Krishna is continuing description of his opulences in this material world and how we can remember him and by how different qualities we can remember Krishna. So let's read shloka, translation and purport. Pavana pavatam asmi ram shastabrutam aham jashana makaras chasmi shrota shrotasam asmi janavi. Translation and purport. Of purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapon I am Ram. Of fishes, I am the shark, and of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Purport. Of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest and certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus, the shark represents Krishna. So, in this chapter, all the great opulence or the great prowess or the great astonishing and appealing things in this material world are just a spark of Krishna's opulence. So Krishna is describing this to Arjuna because Arjuna asked him how I can remember you. So today also we have four parts. So first is Pavana Pavatamasmi. So uh, Pavana. So Pavana Pavitra. So this is connected. So wind purifies. So there are different types of purifier, but the best is the wind, and that we can experience in our day-to-day life also. How much important is the wind, and if the wind is flowing, it has a power to purify that place. So if there is something bad smell at one place, and if just the wind flows from that bad smelling area continuously, then it carries with it the bad smell, and after some time or after some hours the smell is gone. So it purifies, it carries that smell with it, and when it carries the smell, that place is purified. So we see different nowadays we have different air purifiers, right? So if you observe the functioning of the air purifiers also, uh, they are some bottle or something, uh, or some liquid that we spray in front of the air con or something, but the functioning of that purifier depends on the wind. If the wind is flowing, then that purification liquid is effective. If the wind is not there, it does not work. So, though we say that's air purifier, it's actually only purifier. The main thing is air, which carries it, and which just the smell is also carried by the air, and it purifies. So, this purifying potency of the wind, which is uh, very surprising or very appealing factor, which attracts us, our attention, because air we cannot see, but it attracts us. So when there is hot, we switch on the fan, the air flows. That air removes our heat. So it purifies our consciousness, our mind. So this purifying potency is representation of Krishna. Second, Ramha Shasta Bhutam Aham. So Shasta Bhutam means person who carries a Shastra, or Shastra is weapon. So Rama here has, we can take different meanings like Lord Ramchandra. Generally, it means Lord Ramchandra. Then it also means, it can also mean Parshuram, or it can also mean Balram. So in, even if you take all these three examples or three personalities, they carry weapons. So in Ramayana, we see Lord Ramchandra carries mostly only one weapon, bow and arrow, throughout the Ramayana. Only few times we have seen he use a sword, but mostly he carries the weapon, bow and arrow. And though, so when he was in exile for 14 years, still he carried his bow and arrow, and he represented himself as servant, or in the service of his brother Bharat, who was the king of Ayodhya. So he carried the bow and arrow, and with that bow and arrow, he killed Ravan, he killed many demons. Also, he used that bow for different pastimes and lila. So he, that is one of the example. If we say of Parshuram, so Parshuram story is in the Bhagavatam in Canto 9. There is story of Parshuram. He is the Shaktivesha avatar of Supreme Lord. So he has special Shaktis. So he carries a weapon, axe, and his father was Jamadagni. And when Jamadagni has Kamadhenu or Kamaduk, that we have studied couple of days back, and one Kshatriya king took that Kamadhenu from Jamadagni, and Jamadagni was feeling very sad. So when Parshuram came to know that a Kshatriya king has taken this uh, cow, based on whom, with the help of cow, Parshuram, his family, and Jamadagni's family was surviving, but the king took away the cow. So Parshuram became angry, and he took that weapon as axe and killed the Kshatriya kings who were proud of their power and intelligence, and they tried to uh, give suffering to the normal people. So he killed with one weapon Kshatriya kings 21 times. So that also represents the Rama. And if you say Balram, in Krishna Balram, the Balram also carries his weapon, which is he always carries plow, and he used that for couple of times, very wonderful pastimes when Kauravas don't respect Krishna. Then he tries to pull whole Hastinapur city uh, with the help of that plow. So these personalities who have shown their pastimes in this material world carry this Shastra, and they represent the power of Krishna. Okay, the third part is Jashana Makaraschasmi. So among Jashana means among the aquatics or animals in the ocean. So there are different types of animals, there are different types of fishes, but shark is the most dangerous and fearful. We have different movies, right? Jaws and all, where the hugeness and the power of the shark is shown in the movie. But just watching that movie, and even if we uh, feel fearful, and if on any beach or anywhere somebody notice that wing of the shark, then everybody gets fearful and they run away from the beach because they know the shark is dangerous. So this potency by which we get fearful of the shark, that is representation of Krishna. Fourth part is Shrotasam Asmi Janavi. So Shrota means flow. So Srotasam means the rivers which are flowing. There are several rivers, but of these, the most important and most divine river is Ganges. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, there is description of how Ganges came into this material world. So it's story of Bali Maharaj, the king of demons, and Vamana. So Vaman was incarnation of Supreme Lord, and he asked 3 steps from Bali. By 2 steps, uh, he covered all the 3 worlds and everything. And when with the second step, when Vamanadev covered all the 3 worlds, by the toe or by the toe of the right finger, it pierces the universal shell, and few drops of causal ocean came inside this universe, and they directly came into Lord Shiva's. So Lord Shiva hold that drops in his head for some lot of long time. So this is the origin of river Ganges, and that's how it came, and that rivers flows through heavenly planets, Dhruva Loka everywhere, and through Meru mountain, top of the Meru mountain, and there it splits into 4 parts, and then it flows through this material world. And we all know the purity of the faith that we have in the purification process of all the sins uh, that Ganges has. So whenever we go near the Ganges, we take bath in Ganges, we drink water of Ganges, and it is defined as very auspicious to take bath in Ganges. And we have that strong faith that if we drink water of Ganges or if we take bath in Ganges, then our past sins will be nullified. So this faith that we have in this flowing river is the Ganges, is the representation of uh, Krishna. So here we see in 4 examples different types of opulence. Like one is the purifying opulence that Krishna has spread in this material world. Then we see the fearfulness, not exactly fearfulness, but bravery of personalities by using the Shastra and single handedly uh, finishing or vanquishing the culprits. And then we see the fear factor of the shark. And the last one is the faith or the purification that the river Ganges has. So these 4 different opulences in this verse represent Krishna and his uh, presence in this material world. So we wish, if we are properly conscious of the feeling or the when we see anything in this world, we get a feeling or we get an experience. So if we are conscious of that experience, what we are experiencing, then we can see the opulence why we are experiencing it. And those opulences are actually representation of the Lord. So these are a few points about this shloka. So if anybody has any other realizations or experiences or any stories in any Puranas that will elaborate this discussion, then please feel free to share with everyone. Okay. So if Sana, I hope
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I have one question
Mhm.
regarding the Ganges River.
Mhm.
Uh, in India, you must be knowing, like in Ganges River, because so much dirt is there, so many people get like they say that it's very dirty, but we know that because it is pure, so we should worship Ganges, and we should also drink water. So how should we convince others regarding this?
So this, see, when we read any Shastra, or after reading the Shastra, how a person believes it, it depends on the faith in the Shastra statements and your consciousness also. So those who have tremendous faith in Shastra, and they, because of that faith, we believe that even if there is dirty things, still the water of Ganges is pure, right? So that is one thing. So it depends on the faith also. But nowadays, with the time and the situations, we know, we see Yamuna or other rivers, there are a lot of chemicals or waste in the water. So these two aspects are two different aspects. Like sometimes people, though they know the water is pure, but they see that there are chemicals or dirt or bad things thrown into the river, and that any nowadays it's very common that if you drink proper water, your health is fine. So but if you are not drinking a clean pure water, then you will get sick. So some people from that angle say that this is not pure. So yes, we can ask that person from that what angle you are saying this, that this water is not purified. So it based on the chemical or the mixer or water itself. So that person may know that Ganges is the purest, but the situation is not pure. So in that case, we cannot, we should not rather criticize, not exactly criticize, but try to say that this person's faith is not good because he is just not having that consciousness or depth, or his faith is not so strong that he can bypass these material situations. But at the same time, we should also be very careful what exactly we are doing, right? So because we also have material bodies, even if we have strong faith, and of course if you have faith, Krishna protects, everything is correct. But it depends on our purity also. So when we also do things, we should be very practical in our approach and our behavior, because normal people or the society may not accept it. So it depends on the situation and how to balance that particular situation. We can take the action. It's not always necessary to convince them that it is, you should do this or you should do that. It's the choice, right? We can explain Bhagavatam, how Ganga was has originated. Rest is his choice. That's how I will handle that situation. What do you think?
Okay, thank you. So I was just like, from personal point of view, like if we have so much faith, then we can do it, right?
Yeah,
Like if others don't have, so we cannot accept them to accept it. But if we have such faith, then we can do that. So I just have that question.
yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Any other?
I feel we taking with like a wind. It's we taken so granted, but it's purifying the whole Earth planet. We never actually notice this fact, right? So today actually I noticed this fact. We just feel that we need air for breathing, but it also purifying the atmosphere.
Yeah. So these natural things that are coming to us, we take it for granted. That's what Jayashree said. So it's very correct. Like not only air, the light, right? The light, the water that is naturally coming. We take these things granted. There was one study in US about the light. Like when we use the lights at our house, we have to pay, right, to the electricity bill or something. So somebody has done this analysis that the sunlight that we are taking every day or every second if we have to pay for it, how much is that amount? And that calculation is so big that we nobody can pay that much amount. But so the point is, we take these things for granted, but we should not be taking for granted these things. Our one of our duties is to be thankful and grateful to the Lord for providing these things uh, to us. And by being grateful of this, receiving these things free, we express our gratitude, and we have to do something in return of this free things that Lord is giving us mercifully without charging anything, and without which we cannot survive. Basically, we should always be grateful for that and remember that our life is depending on these basic things, and without which we cannot survive.
Another thing is that, like Harsha's question, sunlight if falls on the dirty places is never get contaminated. So means Ganges is also like that. It's already pure. In external eyes, we see it's dirty, but that is it
Yeah,
never get contaminated and it never get impure.
no. Yeah, so Ganges itself will not get impure. The thing in it is impure, but Ganges itself is pure. It will never lose its quality. Like the quality of purity in the Ganges or in the sunlight or in the wind, that will always remain, and for eternal. So that is, of course, true. It's a fact. Okay. Thank you very much for joining every day and
Krishna.
providing this opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Please take care.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Babuji.
Krishna. Thank you.